I want the easy money, easy money. I could get lucky and things could go right. But instead of trying to get lucky, let's look at passive income and how to make it work for you. Robbin, and this is Creative Freedom Empowerment for Creative Entrepreneurs, where can-do inspiration and how-to education collide to help you own your dreams without selling your soul. And this week, we hit Lebanon, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, exploring the Brick Universe Expo. It's been a treat seeing these amazing builds and the sheer amount of talent and creativity that's on display here. So cool. Now, some of the artists are not selling their works, but instead are selling photos of their impressive creations. And that's a brilliant form of leveraged revenue. But is it passive income? Maybe, maybe not. Let's talk about that today. There are tons of misconceptions when it comes to passive income streams. Done properly, they become assets that help you generate income even when you're not actively working in your business. Thus, the origin of the term passive. And the rise of the notion that you can make money in your sleep. Well, not all passive income is created equally. Not every option will work for you, but most creative entrepreneurs would do well to have some kind of leveraged, aka passive, revenue stream that's not tied directly to doing your great work. And that way you don't find yourself stuck in what Les McKown, author of the book Predictable Success, calls the artisan trap. This vicious circle where you have to create or sell all the time in order to stay profitable. That's simply not sustainable. And you know, I want you to have a profitable and sustainable business, which means that it makes money and it sustains you through the ups and downs of business. So let's bust some myths and give you clarity on what passive income really is, how it can work for you if you're willing to do the work, and what you really need to know to make it work for your situation. Because believe you me, passive income sounds sexy, but it takes some work to make anything passive. So let's bust that very first myth, that passive income is really passive. Yeah, I know. That seems a bit disappointing, right? Like false advertising or something. The word passive means non-active, basically do nothing. This is where the make money in your sleep folks try to hook you. The term passive income is really a subset of a wider type of income called recurring revenue. Recurring revenue can also be an active type of income, like subscription boxes or membership groups. Yes, it is possible for the dollar bills to roll in while you sleep, but in order for that to happen, there still has to be some work involved. Firstly, you gotta create the darn thing, and then you gotta market it. Sorry, even after you've created it, if you just set it and forget it, you're not the only one who will forget it. I spent years building the courses at directsales101.com, and I never market them. I'm basically trusting the work that I did nearly a decade ago to keep sending me business. And when I'm lucky, I'll get a sale or two a year. A year. That is not going to pay the bills regardless of how passive it is. I do nothing, and I pretty much get nothing. But if I marketed it, then I'd probably get a few buyers. Passive income means that at some point, all the work you've done can perpetuate itself, but it won't necessarily pay the bills. And it won't necessarily mean that you'll never have to do anything to bring in money ever again. The more you market something, the better your chances of people knowing it exists. The more people who know your offer exists, the more people are likely to buy it. Like I tell my clients on repeat, it's not magic, it's marketing. So passive isn't really passive after all. It's less effort, for sure. And once you've got a team to support your business, you won't have to do all of the work of marketing or promoting or even creating all your offers, but it still has to get done. Which brings me to the next myth, that you can create passive income in a weekend or 90 days. Yes, you can create a product in a weekend or write a book in 90 days. You can even sell something before you actually create it. Pre-orders and pre-registrations are very common practice. But remember that when you're offering a pre-order, you're creating a debt with your buyers. Now, the upside to that is that pre-orders can often make it possible to gauge interest in what you're selling and even help you secure supplies for making it. But what's the quality of the thing you're creating on such a compressed timeline? Now, I'm not talking about perfectionism here. You can probably create a nice looking PDF or a video workshop in a weekend without much trouble. But you still gotta prep for that thing. And if this is something you want to be able to sell over and over for years to come, you'll probably want to have a quality offering, not some slapped together hodgepodge of slack that looks like it took you 20 minutes with a team of first graders. And if that sounds harsh, let me clue you in. Online buyers are getting savvier and savvier. Shopping online used to be a novel and unusual thing, and now, according to the Retail Gazette, 80% of shopping is done online. People aren't as leery about being online as they were even 10 years ago. Plus, they have higher expectations than ever before, and they're not afraid to use social media to rip you a new one if they're unhappy with their purchase. So, your passive income project better be worth their investment, or you're gonna hear about it. You'll probably put as much time and effort into a passive stream as you would an active stream. The thing that sets them apart is the nature of the effort. If you've taken the time to create the right systems for your passive income streams, you don't need to be involved in the sales or the delivery nearly as much as if you're creating an active income stream. I have a couple of books that I don't market very often. Well, more frequently than directsales101.com, but not nearly as frequently as my other offers. I usually sell a few each month, even when I'm not actively selling them. Why? Because I put Amazon to work for me. They do the marketing, manufacturing, and delivery of the books. They also take a substantial cut of the revenue in exchange for their effort. So technically, it's not passive either. I've paid Amazon to do the work on my behalf. When I market more, I sell more. When I don't, I'm relying on Amazon systems to put my book in front of the people that they think would like it based on their magical algorithms. Which brings me to the next myth. When you make the thing, it'll sell like hotcakes and you can retire in style on an island somewhere and just let the dollar bills roll in. Unless you've already done the work of attracting a large audience hungry for your offer, you're not going to sell a whole lot on the first go round. In fact, when I launched my book, The Secret Watch, we gave away more copies than we sold the first month. The book continues to sell years after I publish it. So in that respect, it's a company asset. It's intellectual property and it has street value. It generates some passive income every month. But Amazon makes way more from my books than I do. And again, the more I market it, the more it sells. Marketing takes effort. This isn't the field of dreams. That's a misnomer anyway. The voice in the movie didn't say, if you build it, they will come. He said, if you build it, he will come. One dude. One. I don't know about you, but I can't build my business trusting that only one dude knows about my great work. If you don't have an audience, you've got to do the work of finding one. Whether you build it yourself or you reach out to people who've already done that work and get in front of their audiences, if you don't have an audience, you don't have buyers. Period. I hope you're getting the idea now that you're going to need more than one offer if you're planning on passive income, because that's the next myth. Unless you're Elizabeth Gilbert or Jay-Z, you're going to need more than one thing to sell to create a passive income that will sustain you. And even they have multiple streams of revenue. Elizabeth Gilbert wrote 4 books before Eat, Pray, Love became a runaway bestseller. Eat, Pray, Love came out in 2006, the year my youngest was born. So what did she do to pay the bills? She waitressed, among other things, according to her book, Big Magic. Her other streams of passive income weren't paying the bills, and she'd made a commitment to herself to not put pressure on her creative work to keep her fed. Jay-Z became the first billionaire rapper in the world, not because of his music exclusively, but because of his other business deals. Like his billionaire hip-hop predecessor, Dr. Dre, who sold his Beats brand to Apple for a cool $3.2 billion, it wasn't a single offer. It was multiple streams of revenue that added up to $1 billion valuation. While you may or may not be angling for $1 billion business valuation, recognize that diversifying your revenue streams takes time, energy, and effort, and probably a little monetary investment as well. How many plates can you keep spinning at one time? Diversifying your portfolio also means dividing your attention, and that's why my books and Direct Sales 101 program don't get a lot of my marketing attention right now. They don't generate a lot of income either. What does? My incubator. That small group of clients brings in about 60% of my annual revenue, and I'm helping them grow their businesses through a pay-for-results model. That means the better they do, the better I do, but that's not passive. There's still lots of work involved. I also have other revenue streams, digital downloads, online courses, A-Club, my coaching clients, but I started with one thing and I grew it from there because no one item can fully fund what I want to do in this business. Plus, relying on one thing gets dangerous after you've reached a certain point in your business. Let me clarify. At first, focusing on one thing is important because that's how you gain traction in the marketplace. Once you've got traction, diversifying helps distribute the load because markets, audiences, and regulations change all the time. And any platform that you don't own can be stripped away at any time. So it's important to have some insurance against those changes. And a diversified business allows you to have that kind of buffer. We'll talk more about this in a future episode. Now, I'm not trying to scare you off. I just want to right-size your expectations around what kind of results to expect with your first passive revenue stream. Most online marketers agree that the typical sales rate for an offer is 1% to 2% for cold traffic. That means if you put an offer in front of people who don't know you, then 1% to 2% of them are likely to buy from you. So if 100 people see your offer, you're going to sell 1 or 2. That's a lot of effort for very little return on investment. Now, the numbers get exponentially better with people who know, like, and trust you, about 10 to 20%, which means when 100 of those people see your offer, you'll sell 10 or 20. Significantly better results. On aggregate sites like Amazon, Apple Music, Creative Market, or Skillshare, you're talking about way less than that. While Amazon itself has a great conversion rate, the odds of getting your offers in front of Amazon buyers are much smaller because there's a huge sea of offers there. According to one article, a regular Amazon shopper converts at about 13%, warm market, right? While a Prime member converts closer to 74% of the time. That means if I sold 2 copies of my book, Amazon only recommended it to 16 regular shoppers or 3 Prime members. They're selling millions of items every day. Less than 0.0002% of their audience actually sees my book. So in reality, nobody's seeing my book unless I'm doing the marketing to get them there. As I've said before, passive income streams can be assets for your company. If you're a fine artist or a Lego builder, prints of your work become an affordable way for people to buy from you, and you don't have to keep making the same piece over and over again. If you're a musician, digital downloads, records, merch, even CDs still make useful passive income streams. Ebooks, videos, courses, training programs, they can all be useful tools to create assets for your business that can be marketed as passive revenue streams, so long as you realize that passive is a misnomer. Yeah, the item's still available for sale without you having to man a merch booth or keep cranking out copies of the thing you created, but it's not a completely inactive device. What about endorsements, sponsorships, and paid ad placements? Well, they're technically passive, but they still require you to show up in some form or another. Our Patreon members won't keep making their monthly pledge if we don't keep creating content. Show sponsors cease to exist if you don't have a show. Endorsement deals rely on your personality and your celebrity, so if you do anything that jeopardizes that, they can pull their endorsement and their money right along with it. There's another kind of passive revenue that I want you to think about as your income grows. Investments. I don't have room in this episode to go deep on investing, but interest-bearing accounts, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and even real estate can also be passive investment assets. And they're probably the closest thing to truly passive income that you'll ever find, depending on how you invest. So is there really any such thing as a truly passive income stream? Kind of. Someone, somewhere has to do some work to make the revenue come in, but there's a lot you can do to delegate that work to someone else and make it less effort for you. Just keep in mind the different questions you need to consider as you're building your passive revenue assets. All these questions can be found in the passive income planner that you'll find ready for download in the Rising Tide members area this week. It can help you think through what exactly you can create or add to your investment portfolio to generate passive revenue for your business. And maybe then you'll be singing like Mike and the Billy Joel Band. For a deeper discussion about passive income with a committed group of creative entrepreneurs who can give you useful feedback, join us in Accountability Club. You can learn more about it at lisarobinyoung.com/a-club. All the links, notes, and downloadables for this and every episode of Creative Freedom can be accessed inside the Rising Tide members area. Just click the link on my website to get free access today. If you liked this episode, help us make a bigger impact in the world. Support our Patreon campaign, subscribe, share us with your friends and colleagues. We're one of the fastest growing shows for creative entrepreneurs because of people like you. So thank you very, very much. Next time, we're looking at how to design your business model to work for your creative type. So I hope you'll join me. And until then, for more inspiration and education to help you own your dreams without selling your soul, come see what's shaking over at lisarobinyoung.com. You know you want to. Yeah, you do.
Good life, oh, I want it bad.